Mickey Mantle swung a bat so hard one April afternoon in Washington that nobody could agree where the ball actually came down. They sent someone out of the stadium with a measuring tape. The number that came back was 565 feet. People still argue about whether that's even physically possible. And honestly, that argument, that impossible, beautiful argument, tells you everything you need to know about the man who hit it. Because with Mantle, nothing ever quite fit inside normal boundaries. Not the talent, not the fame, not the pain, and certainly not the question that baseball has never fully answered. What could he have truly become? It started before he could even hold a bat. His father, Mutt Mantle, worked the zinc and lead mines of Commerce, Oklahoma, breathing in dust that would eventually kill him. Baseball was his one escape and his one obsession. When his son was born in 1931, Mutt named him after a star catcher of the era, Mickey Cochran. Then almost immediately, he got to work building something. Mutt would pitch right-handed, forcing young Mickey to bat left. Mickey's grandfather, a lefty, would take over, so the boy had to bat right. Day after day, year after year, they were engineering a switch hitter from scratch. Not by accident, but by design. The dream nearly ended at 14, when a football injury turned into osteomyelitis, a severe bone infection that in that era frequently led to amputation. Penicillin, newly available, saved his leg. But that moment quietly set the tone for everything that followed. Mickey Mantle's body would spend the rest of his life trying to betray him. He reached the Yankees at 19, inheriting a pressure cooker situation almost no teenager should face, expected to eventually step into center field from Joe DiMaggio himself. Then, in the 1951 World Series, chasing a fly ball, his cleat caught a hidden drain cover in the outfield grass. His knee buckled and tore. He was 19 years old, and that knee would never be fully right again. The very next day, riding to the hospital, his father collapsed beside him, dying of cancer at just 40 years old. And yet somehow, broken and grieving, Mantle became one of the most breathtaking players the game has ever seen. In 1956, he won the Triple Crown, leading all of baseball in batting average, home runs, and RBIs simultaneously. He remains the only switch hitter in history to accomplish it. He won 7 World Series championships. His World Series records, most home runs, most RBIs, most runs scored, have stood untouched for decades. But teammates who watched him wrap layers of bandages around his damaged knees before every single game knew something the crowds didn't. The man circling the bases in triumph was doing it in genuine, grinding pain. People who played alongside him said flatly, "On 2 healthy legs, Mantle might have been the greatest player who ever lived, and we never even saw his best." Away from the field, he was losing a quieter battle. Convinced, based on watching his father and other men in his family die young, that he had little time left, he lived accordingly. The drinking that began early grew worse over the years, and by his own admission, cost him enormously in ways that had nothing to do with baseball. What makes the final chapter of his story so striking is how honestly he faced it. In 1994, he checked into rehab, got sober, and then did something rare for a man of his stature. He told the truth publicly. He looked straight at the people who had worshipped him for 4 decades and said, simply, "Don't follow my example." It wasn't performance. It was a man doing an honest accounting of his life and not liking what he found. When liver disease and cancer claimed him in August 1995, at age 63, he had spent his final weeks advocating fiercely for organ donation. Donor registration requests reportedly surged from around a dozen per week to over 700 following his story. His surgeon called it, perhaps, Mickey's greatest home run. Decades later, a 1952 Mantle baseball card sold at auction for $12.6 million, the most valuable baseball card ever sold. His memorabilia has reportedly surpassed $162 million in total sales, more than any other player in history. The legend, it turns out, was only getting started. No measuring tape was ever long enough for his home runs. No simple answer is quite big enough for the man himself. He was given extraordinary gifts, reached the very top of his sport, while carrying extraordinary pain, and spent his final days warning the world not to waste what they'd been given, the way he felt he had. That's not just a baseball story. It's a deeply human one, and it's why we're still talking about the Mick. If this story stayed with you, hit like, and consider subscribing. It's the best way to catch more deep dives like this one.